You don't deserve this life, my sister muttered, scanning the room. But let's see who wins in the end. Some people stab you in the back. My sister chose to do it with a smile and a glass of champagne in her hand. You don't deserve this life, she muttered, eyes sweeping the room. But let's see who wins in the end. It was my engagement party. A night that was supposed to be about love, beginnings, the promise of a future. Instead, I stood frozen on the edge of a ballroom filled with white roses and well-dressed people who had no idea that the woman standing beside me wasn't just my sister, she was my rival. Not by my choice. By hers. She clinked her glass against mine gently, as if her words hadn't just turned the air icy. You're not going to cause a scene, are you? She added, her smile picture perfect for the cameras. I didn't answer. I was still reeling. We hadn't been close in years, sure. Ever since our father's death, the space between us widened. She stayed with Mom, kept the family name alive, attended the right fundraisers. I moved out, built a small business from the ground up, met someone who really saw me, and built a life that had nothing to do with inheritance or appearances. And now here she was. At my party. Smiling like she meant it. Whispering like she didn't. The photographer called for family pictures. I took a step toward the backdrop, but she caught my wrist. Careful, she said under her breath. Wouldn't want anyone to see your hands shake. I yanked my arm free, jaw tight. Why are you even here? She tilted her head. To celebrate you. Isn't that what sisters do? Then she walked away, heels clicking against polished tile, leaving behind the scent of expensive perfume and a promise that whatever game she was playing, it had already started. I spent the rest of the night smiling for photos and thanking guests while a storm brewed just behind my ribs. Every glance from her across the room felt like a challenge. Every toast from a family friend felt like it was loaded with a second meaning. When the night finally ended and the room emptied out, I found an envelope on the gift table with no name. Inside was a note. No signature. Just 7 words. She knows. You should have told him. And beneath it, a printed photo. Of me. From 2 years ago. With someone who wasn't my fiancé. I stared at the photo so long, the edges curled under the pressure of my grip. 2 years ago. A blurry image taken from across the street. I was standing outside a cafe, my arms around a man whose name I hadn't said out loud in over a year. The kind of embrace that said more than I wanted anyone to know. We'd only seen each other twice. I was single at the time. But now? That moment, that image, was a loaded weapon. And my sister had just slipped it into the room like a smoke bomb. I checked the envelope again. No fingerprints. No handwriting I recognized. But I didn't need proof. Only one person would have known where to find that photo. Only one person had the motive to use it now. Sienna. Growing up, she was the golden one. Student council president. Valedictorian. Dad's favorite, though he'd never say it aloud. I was always the spirited one, the creative one, the one whose choices made Mom hold her breath at family dinners. When Dad died, I didn't ask for anything. She took the house, the lake property, the Lexus. I let her. I didn't want his legacy. I wanted peace. But apparently, peace isn't something Sienna gives freely. I stuffed the photo into my clutch just as Daniel, my fiancé, walked in from the balcony, his tie loosened, smile soft. You okay? He asked. I forced a smile. Yeah. Just tired. Long day. He kissed my forehead, completely unaware of the minefield under our feet. I didn't sleep that night. I lay in bed listening to him breathe beside me, wondering what would happen if I told him the truth, not about the photo, but about why Sienna might be coming for me now. Because it wasn't about jealousy. It was about control. And I'd finally built something she couldn't touch. Until now. The next morning, I called her. She answered on the second ring. Did you enjoy the party? She asked, syrupy sweet. I'm not going to play whatever game you think this is. She laughed. That's the thing about games, sis, you don't always know you're in one until it's too late. You crossed a line. She sighed. I haven't even started. Before I could reply, she hung up. 2 hours later, I got a message from an unknown number. Check your inbox. He deserves to know who you are. I opened my email and found a draft already typed, subject line written, photo attached. To Daniel. Subject, something you should know before the wedding. It hadn't been sent yet. But it would be. Unless I stopped her first. I'd seen enough of Sienna's games growing up to know this wasn't about the photo. That was just the opening move. The real power play was in the timing. 3 weeks before my wedding. Enough time to cast doubt. Not enough time to fully recover. Just enough to crack the foundation and let fear do the rest. I sat on the edge of my bed, staring at that unsent email draft. Daniel was still at work, texting me updates about the caterer. He had no idea his name was already typed into the subject line of a nuclear bomb. I had two options. I could wait for her to send it, let her control the narrative, let him learn through her eyes. Or I could take it back. I hit forward on the email, typed Daniel's address, and wrote 2 sentences. There's something I need to explain. Please hear me out in person. Then I hit send. My phone rang 20 minutes later. Can you come by? He asked, voice unreadable. I drove over, hands shaking on the wheel. When I walked into his apartment, he was sitting on the couch, the email open on his laptop. He didn't look angry. Just still. I didn't cheat, I said before he could speak. It was before you. I didn't tell you because it felt like a different life. And honestly, I didn't think it mattered. He nodded slowly. Why does your sister think it does? That question cut deeper than I expected. Because she can't stand that I'm happy, I said. She needs everything to revolve around her success, her approval, her version of the truth. He leaned back. So this is war? No, I said. This is survival. He looked at me for a long time, then closed the laptop. I don't care who you were 2 years ago, he said. I care about who you are when you look at me now. I sat beside him, breath catching. You believe me? I believe in you, he said. But we can't let her keep the upper hand. That's when I told him about the rest. The envelope. The threat. The call. She's not just trying to hurt me, I said. She's trying to burn everything I've built. He nodded once. Then maybe we don't let her control the fire. That night, we drafted a message of our own, a version of the story, told in our words, not hers. No scandal. No secrets. Just a truth laid out plainly for the people who mattered. Family, friends, the ones who'd ask questions when the rumors started. And we sent it first. We didn't name her. But she knew. Because less than an hour later, I got a call from her number. I didn't answer. She called again. Then sent a single text. So that's how it's going to be. And then, total silence. Until 3 days later. When I got an invitation. Hand-delivered. Cream-colored envelope with embossed gold letters. You are cordially invited to a private celebration honoring Sienna's promotion and relocation to London. There was a handwritten note at the bottom. Some of us don't need weddings to win. But what she didn't know was what I had just found out. The note was pure Sienna, elegant, cruel, and carefully worded to look harmless if anyone else happened to read it. But I knew the translation. You didn't beat me. I'm leaving because I'm above this. And I'll still come out on top. Except, she wouldn't. Not after what I'd just learned. The morning after her invite arrived, I got a call from Rachel, our cousin on Dad's side. The one who always kept her head down at family gatherings and never took sides. But apparently, even she had her limits. I've kept my mouth shut for years, she said. But after what Sienna pulled at your party? I'm done protecting her. I blinked. What do you mean? I work for First Point, the firm that handles your dad's estate. I'm not supposed to talk about this, but Sienna's been accessing funds she has no legal right to. What kind of funds? Your share. The trust your dad set up for both of you. She told the firm you'd signed a waiver. Faked the documents. My stomach dropped. You're telling me she's been spending my inheritance? For over 3 years. Travel, designer clothes, even the down payment on that lake house. I gripped the phone tighter. She forged my signature? Yes. And I just found the proof. One of the digital files she submitted wasn't encrypted properly. When I cross-referenced it with your actual signature from a legal form in 2017, it's not even close. I stood up, heart racing. Can you send me everything? I already did. Check your inbox. And for what it's worth, I always believed you. The documents hit my phone before we hung up. Clear as day, falsified authorizations, date discrepancies, internal memos that raised concerns but were conveniently overridden. All signed by me, or rather, a bad imitation of me. And suddenly, I understood why Sienna had gone quiet. Why she was running off to London. Why she'd picked now to escalate the drama and spin her version of the story. She was trying to get out before everything caught up with her. But now, it was going to catch her. Daniel and I met with a lawyer the next day. By the following week, formal action was filed. Fraud, forgery, financial misappropriation. When she was served at her own promotion party, I heard she screamed. By the time she called me, it was too late. I let it ring. Then, finally, I picked up. You smug little. No, I cut her off. You don't get to do that anymore. Not to me. Not to my name. Not to the version of me you made up so you could keep living above the truth. She was quiet for a moment. Then she asked, almost softly, You think this makes you better than me? I exhaled. No. But it proves I never needed to be. And I hung up. The wedding went on as planned. It was beautiful. Honest. Real. People showed up because they wanted to, not because they were afraid not to. And Sienna? She left for London. Not as a star, but as a woman who finally ran out of stories to tell.